Forward looking. Laying it off. Touchdown! Hat-trick! Harriel sends it in. Off of Russell. Made it to Elliott. Oh! Julian comes up. A spectacular finish. Philadelphia. Hello and welcome to the Free Kick Podcast. My name is Todd, and your Philadelphia Union. They finally get a Wednesday game in. No rain, just like last week. Couldn't play because too much rain, and the game gets postponed for the U.S. Open Cup game. But they finally get a Wednesday night game in, and they go ahead and defeat CF Montréal by a score of 2-1 with Baribo and Olwethu Makhanya scoring the goals for the Union. And I'm super excited to talk about this game. I'm super excited to see if we can keep this episode within an hour. But you guys know it. Every time José Nuñez joins me, we always go over. So you guys are probably expecting us to go over. But regardless, José, how are you doing, man?
I'm okay, man. I'm so sorry to make you start late. For the very much, I don't even want to say uninitiated. People don't know my personal life the way that you and some other people know. But I'm out on the road in Connecticut, actually. So the Free Kick Pod can check off another state where it has been produced, created, whatever you want to call it. But it was never my intention to be late. We had a team bonding activity thing. And I got to tell you, Todd, New Haven pizza in Connecticut is the real deal.
Better than New York?
Unbelievable. Better than New York. Better than that place I walked you to. We didn't eat, but I walked you to right outside of Moynihan Station.
Yeah.
Much better. Like it is so good. I don't understand how it's so good. I don't know if it's the water or what, but New Haven pizza, great stuff. I recommend it.
So if you were doing the Dave Portnoy, the one bite challenge, what would you rate this pizza, José?
Doesn't the guy show up? Is it actually, with as you mentioned that, Todd, I'm pretty sure that Dave Portnoy gave his best reviews to New Haven pizza specifically. So like, yeah, I would agree that it's up there with a lot of that. We went to a place that's like it was an old garage that they turn into sort of like an adult play area, basically. So like they have a brick oven pizza and many cornhole games, like the punching bag thing where it measures how hard you hit something, skee ball, basketball. So like a Dave and Buster's, but for adults. And it was bottomless beers, bottomless drinks, and just all you can eat food for this conference that we're at. So it was fantastic. But all that to say that New Haven style pizza, I'm telling you, man, this is the real deal. I'm shocked I'm liking it so much. I actually, if it wasn't so late, I would have thought about ordering some more just to come to the room to get delivered.
So Michael coming in clutch here saying Portnoy loves New Haven style. So there you go. You're right, José.
Yeah. It's great, man. But listen, I apologize we started late. Can I promise a 1 hour show? I don't know, Todd. I like to think that the conversation is so good it goes over. And I gotta know, what's that jersey all about? Is that Piccadilly?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, that's sick. Look at that. I actually have a message from your boy. I gotta send him PayPal money. He's gonna send me something. See if it gets here before I go to Ireland. I doubt it, but I'll support the cause.
You see, if we were doing blunder of the week for this episode and not leaving until Sunday, I feel like Jem would be a really good contender for that because he comes over to the United States. We go to Denver, and he doesn't bring our jersey. Like, come on, you could have brought a couple jerseys. Like, Shelby and I went all out, got him all this Maryland gear, and we don't even get a jersey. Like, I got this jersey in 2020. And this is one of the older kits. And the only reason I wore it is because I saw you guys like talking on Twitter. So I was like, let's go ahead and pull out one of my two, I think, jerseys. Or I have like a manager's top that he gave me a few years ago that has the old Free Kick logo on the back of it. And then this is the only jersey I have. But yeah, these are like sick jerseys. And I think he actually has a couple more left. So, I mean, if anybody wants a Piccadilly non-league soccer jersey from Transport for London Soccer League, just hit up Piccadilly on Twitter. I think he has a couple more left. If not, I'll hit him up and see if he has them left. But yeah, it's for people who aren't watching this or listening on audio, it's the design of their seats on the train and everything like that. That's what he bases his jerseys on every single year, just the seat design, and they're so sick. I mean,
I think you mean pattern. The pattern on the pattern on the seats. It's really cool.
Yeah, they're super cool, and it's a little tight. I don't know what the New Jerseys are like, Jose, but this is a medium.
See that, Todd. Let me see.
No, we're not flexing, dude. Look at this, dude. I mean, it's just like snug. Like I barely have any room. I remember I took this a couple years ago to the gym, and I messaged him afterwards. I was like, dude, why are these jerseys cut so tight? And he's like, oh yeah, sorry about that.
European medium.
Yeah, exactly. And now I know for next time. So hopefully you don't make that same mistake, Jose. But I'm sure you'll take whatever jersey you can get.
No, and listen, for those that maybe haven't heard me say this, I'm going to Ireland for my cousin's wedding. I'm so excited for him marrying the love of his life. And I told my wife, this is what I'm going to do during these 13, 14 days that we're out there. Every single day, I'm wearing a different soccer jersey, and not even wearing MLS teams. It's going to be all lower league in the United States teams. And our good friend of the show, Mark Kalkenberg, has helped out with that. Rogue FC out in Rhode Island has helped out too, and I have a few surprises out there that I'm excited to show off out there. But all these teams are going to get some, as small as my fan base or my Twitter base is, like they're going to see these different jerseys across Dublin. So please be excited, as Sony would say during the conference calls when I was an investor.
Yeah. John chimes in, says, don't know if it beats the Orioles outfit, but another great look, Todd. Appreciate that, John. I don't know if you watched the last episode, Jose, but I was wearing the Hawaiian shirt giveaway. And I think when I went to that game, you were like, if you find one of those, you got to give me one. I mean, they are so sick. So people who didn't look it out, just go on YouTube and watch the latest live video. Not this one, but the previous one. You can see the awesome giveaway. Vince chimes in, says, we must introduce Ireland to the glory of Philadelphia Union too.
Philadelphia. Yeah, if I could buy one, right? If I could buy a jersey, I would definitely wear a Union 2 kit. And like Todd, you and I talk about this a lot, but like obviously being professional or trying to be as professional as we can with like the journalistic side of us, like you're not really going to see me with a Union jersey anytime soon, and with all due respect to the team, etc. But like a Union 2 kit, that thing would be all over Dublin. It would be in Galway. It would be all over the place if I was able to get my hands on one. I could probably send some messages and make it happen, but the reality is I'm not that person either.
Yeah. And last comment before we move the show along, Mark Kalkenberg chimes in, says, Vermont Green, ? Who's that?
Tyler Trimnell.
There you go.
There he is.
There you go. There we go. So we got 2 jerseys now Jose said he's going to wear. So you guys got to follow Jose on Twitter and find out what else he's going to wear. Or Instagram. I mean, that's a place where he honestly posts pictures. So
yeah, I must admit, I keep that Instagram so personal, like family, but some people have snuck their way in there. They found me on Instagram, and that's okay. More the merrier, I suppose, but I'll never
just
put
private.
Say it again.
Your Instagram's private?
No, it's not private. I mean, I don't know. Is it? I don't know. But it's not the same handle as my Twitter. I guess I'll say that.
Gotcha. Kidden Wolf. What's up, Kidden? Says, I can't stay for long, but greetings from Florida. It's so funny too, because right below that comment, his former teacher chimes in. Jillian Hominy says, hey guys. That's so funny. The comments came in both at 9:23, but Kidden came in right before Jillian. It's like they knew. But yeah, super excited for the this episode. 10 minutes of us ranting, Jose, so it's probably best that we get into this game. But before we do that, actually, there is one little thing I want to talk about, and I didn't put it in my show notes. We can talk about it quickly. But the Philadelphia Union announced today they had their unrevealing of the WSFS Bank Stadium complex. And I'll be honest, Jose, I had no clue how to say this. For maybe a month ago, I asked one of my friends, I asked her how to say it. I was like, how do you pronounce the name of this bank? And I was just saying it WSFS. And she was like, no, I think it's called WSFS. And now I know it's called WSFS. But the Philadelphia Union, they had their ceremony opening that up to select media, I should say, got invited out to go and watch the ceremony. But the Philadelphia Union, they had opened the WSFS Bank Sportsplex, a state-of-the-art $100 million, 170,000 square foot sports and recreation complex adjacent to Subaru Park in Chester, Pennsylvania. This is so awesome. We've seen them building the campus with all the turf fields, the grass fields, and they've done such a good job just bringing all these tournaments down to the area, whether it be lacrosse, other soccer tournaments. I know the academy obviously always plays down there. The games are live streamed on YouTube for the most part. And yeah, I mean, it's cool to see the Union finally investing into Chester. I think it's cool that WSFS Bank donated, I think, over 300 hours for public use. And they have indoor basketball courts in the sportsplex and everything. So I'm looking forward to seeing just what this does for the Chester community, seeing how many more people come down. And to Vince's point, talking about earlier in the show, you should wear a Union 2 jersey. Well, I don't know. I mean, I feel like now Union 2 is going to be playing at this sportsplex, and you could potentially be bringing in more people to the Chester area. Maybe it is time to start selling Union 2 jerseys. But one thing I wanted to bring up real quick, Jose, while I try to get this onto the screen. Have you seen pictures of the new Union 2 locker room?
No, I actually did not get a chance. So again,
this is awesome.
I've been in and out of meetings with for work, plus this conference. Holy shit.
Yeah,
that's for the Union 2?
Yeah, this is Union 2's locker room for the sportsplex. Try to make it bigger.
Oh,
I mean, that's phenomenal.
Okay. I mean, happy for them, but they're gonna have to find a way to pay for it to sell the jerseys. Figure it out.
Let's see. Here we go. The Union 2, I guess, entranceway, the Union Academy. And for everybody that's listening to audio only, this is why you guys got to go back on YouTube or listen to the live streams when we go live, because we show video, pictures, the video from press conferences. But yeah, this is sick, dude. I mean, the locker room, phenomenal. Look at this. David Vasquez and Nick Periano, the two captains for the team. This is sick, man.
All I'll say about this complex, Todd, and these are like my thoughts. If you were going to ask them, I don't know, but like I'm just going to share them. Like, I don't think people are really recognizing, like, yeah, it's easy to dunk on the team for not spending, though I think maybe it's becoming increasingly hard to justify that harping on of like, you're not spending, whatever. Brother, they're first in the league with the spending that they're doing. I think they're okay. They're just smart how to go about it. I don't think people realize just how great this complex is going to be to continue to win the arms race that becomes facilities when it comes to scouting and recruiting some of these players across the area, right? If you're a local player and you're playing for the PA Classics or the FC Revolutions or what have you across the region that the Union are able to bring in to scout, you see those facilities, and I'm maybe using my lens as working for academia in Division 3 specifically, but I've worked at Division 2 as well. Like, you have that type of facility, you're turning a lot of these kids into, oh yeah, I want to be part of this, right? Like, it's an incredible building, it's an incredible facility, and the bar is so high when it comes to the recruiting and how thoughtful and good they are at it. So it's just raised itself even higher by having this facility. So kudos to the again, it's so hard, or I should say it's so easy to dunk on them, but kudos to ownership, McDermott. If you haven't watched the episode of him on the Duke, please watch it. I don't want to say it's required watching or anything like that, but if you want to just listen to it, there's a very specific line that stuck with me, Todd, and I know you've listened to it or parts of it, where he talks about where at one point he actually questioned whether he should be the developer or the store in something that's already developed. And something flipped in his mind that said, no, we should be the developers. We have this duty to build and enhance Chester. And this is the perfect example of something that's going to enhance that area. And I'm eager to see what happens next beyond this sporting complex. What are they going to follow the initial or the, as I saw, original blueprints of, okay, let's add more to what the experience is of a fan. And I'm not talking parking lots. I'm talking about building facilities, additive things, not just blacktop for cars to sit on. So people should be excited for this, honestly.
Yeah, the one thing that I would say is, you see people all the time on social media saying that, oh, the Union need to be playing in Center City. They need to be in Philadelphia proper. But you spend $100 million on this sporting complex. I think that tells you everything you need to know about the Union's commitment to Chester. And so I don't see the Union leaving Chester for a very, very, very long time. I mean, Ernst Tanner finally got what he wanted, bringing the academy down from Wayne, Pennsylvania, down to Chester. Everything's under one roof. The first team, the second team, all the academies, the schools down there. And so you finally got your vision of having everything under one roof. And I can remember one of the press conferences, maybe at the beginning of the season, I don't know, Ernst Tanner talking about that was his goal, his vision, to get everything under one roof. Yes, we know about their ideology, wanting to play the same way, but literally having everybody under the same roof where, hey, look, these academy players look at the first team guys and say, that could be me one day. Why not? And so to see ownership invest $100 million into this complex where the Sportsplex is expected to draw over half a million visitors annually. I mean, that's huge, and the Union are projecting that that's going to be a significant economy boost to Chester, and yeah, hopefully, you turn some people that maybe aren't Union fans into Union fans now. You turn people into coming to Chester that normally wouldn't come into Chester. Last thing I'll say about this that I want to highlight is that the indoor facility includes a 115 by 70-yard turf field, 2 multi-sport courts, which are capable of hosting basketball, volleyball, futsal. There's a 2-story performance center with weight rooms and sprint track, 6 locker rooms, a cafe for athletes and guests, a recovery room, and event space. Yeah, I mean, this is a phenomenal investment by the first team. And yeah, just super excited to see what the future looks like in Chester. And again, I think any doubts, any questions people had, are the Union going to go into the city? Because let's face it, Jose, we have been seeing more teams going into the city. Chicago left to go play at Soldier Field a few years ago, and now they're going to get a soccer-specific stadium in downtown Chicago. That's huge, right? Nashville down in not Broadway, obviously, but they're in downtown. You think of Cincinnati, Columbus, more and more teams, I feel like, want to go down into the city if possible. But I don't think that's going to be the Union. There's no way when you invest this much money, this much time and energy into Chester.
And this is where, and you caught me mid-bite, so I apologize, but this is where, when you think about collaboration between the city, between Philadelphia, and also, I guess, the city of Chester, they have to find a way. And Todd, you and I witnessed it, experienced it, whatever you want to call it. You put a train stop right in front of the doorstep of the stadium, makes it makes such a difference to be able to just get in one train from Center City, or even if you have to connect and not be a mile or half a mile away from the stadium, the way that it was when we experienced it in New York City with Citi Field. Like, imagine having that next, right? Finding a way to co-develop it, not just let one side take the brunt of the cost, but put a train stop in front of Chester and I mean, in front of the stadium somewhere. It's an incredible upgrade. And not only will that also bring new fans, it'll bring diverse fans, which is, I think, what the Union are missing. They love having their suburban folks coming and spending all the money in the world. But what this team needs, and I think you and I witnessed it, or I should say mostly me, but you witnessed it through a screen, Todd. But, like, these international fans in the Club World Cup made the difference for how good that tournament was. Imagine if they were there every single game of the Philadelphia Union, bringing some more Latinos, bringing some Asians, Africans, etc. Just finding a way to diversify the fan base is exactly what this team needs to truly represent Philadelphia. Because right now in the stands, unfortunately, I don't see a true representation of Philadelphia.
Yeah, I have nothing else to add. Real quick, though, I want to pull up this question earlier from T-Mac about 10 minutes ago. He said, either of you guys or any Union media heading down to Austin for the All-Star game? I am not. Jose shaking his head no. I saw Jillian Almany in the comments saying she's not either. I'm not sure of anybody else, honestly.
No, I mean, I think you're grounded due to work. Like, you're grounded, meaning you're staying put.
Yeah.
I'm grounded for family reasons, and then I'm leaving to Colorado, etc.
I want to go out there with you so bad.
The hotel's open, brother. You just let me know. There's a bed. I can request a second queen. But no, and this is, yes, there's union representation, but the reality is that, like, I'd rather save the gunpowder for when it matters most, right? Like, say the Union beat Red Bulls, which we hope, and they go to Nashville. I'd rather save the money to be in Nashville overnight to cover the U.S. Open Cup court. At that point, it would be semifinals then, right?
Semis.
And then ultimately, hopefully, a final. So nothing for the All-Star game from us.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, a couple of years ago, it was down in DC, right? That was the closest it's been in some time. I saw in 2026 it's heading down to Charlotte, but yeah, no Austin for me, no Austin for Jose, no Austin for Cairo, Jillian, and Omni. But hey, look, maybe somebody that covers the Union will be down there. But let's go ahead and talk about the game.
21 minutes.
21 minutes in. Last night's game between Philadelphia Union and CF Montreal, 2-1, the final score for the Union, with Ty Baribo scoring in the 38th minute, Makhanya scoring in the 50th. And before we talk about, because we do have topics, I do want to talk about the Union's dominance on set pieces. We'll talk about Makhanya's breakout season, and we'll talk about Andre Blake's just goalkeeping ability still being elite in MLS. We'll talk about those specifically at different points in the show. But one thing I think I want to start off by saying is this is a game, Jose, that I feel like maybe Montreal feels a little bit hard done. I mean, they hit the post in the 77th minute with Owusu. We can talk about that save by Andre Blake later on in the show, but taking away the saves, like, that's a little bit unfortunate for Montreal, who, to their credit, didn't play scared. They took the game to the Union a lot of times in this game, I thought. And you had said to us in one of our group chats that you felt that the Union were actually playing down to Montreal, which I think maybe at times, but I think this is a Montreal team that we saw 2 months ago. I think they're much improved. Coming into this game, they had got 7 points in the last 5 games. They got a late equalizer against Orlando City prior to this game. And so Montreal's been playing a lot better than I would say that their record shows in the standings. Yes, they're in last place in MLS, but this is a team that came into Subaru Park and I think maybe surprised some people. And the Union maybe a little bit fortunate to come away with all 3 points.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. And when I mentioned that the Union played down to their level, I don't think that there's any way other than to look at it that way, because it was on paper. There was no way that game should have been as close as it was, right? When you think about the disparity in terms of points and goal differential, et cetera. And that's why you play the games, right? And ultimately, Montreal, and kudos to, and I gave him yesterday during the post-game show, kudos to Brandon Craig carving out himself an opportunity and taking the most of it, right? Being like a 4th choice center back coming into the season as a free agent after the Union decided not to do anything with him, and he chose not to move on, to eventually becoming a starter and ultimately taking all of the spot, or I guess dead ball situation kicks, and including one that challenged Andre Blake, right? So yeah, I think we're going to talk about Blake, but I think he was a big reason why this team survived. And ultimately, that's just the way it goes, right? Good teams find a way to win these games. It's not pretty, it's not beautiful, but it's 3 points. And ultimately, when we look back at the end of the season, Todd, this is a game where we're not really going to remember what actually happened. We're just going to remember that, oh, okay, the Union beat the worst team in the league at that point in the season. And or second worst.
And twice, I was saying.
Twice. Okay. So they did what they were supposed to do, considering how good this team is. So job done, duty well done, and they can move on and now go into a unbelievably difficult setting in Houston against I think another team that's better than what their record represents in Houston. So no complaints. I just think that they just carried on business.
Yeah, and John brings up a good point right here. He says Montreal gave us a good game both times. Owusu was dangerous, and that's exactly what I wanted to bring up, right? He had an opportunity to score a brace in this game. Yes, I mentioned he hit the woodwork, had 4 total shots, but I think the Union, honestly, like they struggled to contain him all night long. You and I, we might debate it here. I know we did in a group chat, but the goal that he scores, neither one of us is taking that away. It's a beautiful goal that he scores. I blame Makhanya personally. I know you were saying Kai Wagner. Our good friend Mark Kelkenberg came out and said to us, he was like, yeah, this is exactly what happened on the play. You know, Jacob Glesnes is watching the through ball. He's watching the guy in the middle. So Glesnes, not at fault at all in this play. You guys, I feel like, kind of blame Kai Wagner a little bit more than Makhanya. My argument would be that Makhanya gets caught ball watching. It's as simple as that. He's the one centrally with Owusu and just pays attention to the ball, not the run. Kai Wagner, yes, he could have left Sealy and tracked that run because he's watching Makhanya just not have any awareness whatsoever on Owusu, but he jogs back. And we've seen that time and time again for Kai. As good as he is on set piece deliveries offensively, he struggles defensively at times. We saw it in Columbus, right? I mean, he gives you those moments where he doesn't track back, where he falls asleep and he's at fault. And I would say Kai wasn't at fault for this. Do you want to say both? Both Makhanya and Wagner? Okay, that's fair, but I think more the blame's on Makhanya for this. But my whole point is the Union really did struggle all game long with Owusu.
Yeah, the guy's a handful, right? Like that man can. I got vibes, and Todd, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe not quite to this extent because obviously the name I'm about to drop is I think should go down as certainly a legend for Venezuelan soccer, let alone for soccer as a whole. I think he's going to be remembered very, very well. But like, I got a lot of vibes in the way he commanded his body to Solomon Rondon, and the way he can just bully people off the ball. He can, his presence is felt. Um, in terms of the play, I think I was more bothered by Kai's attitude of whenever something happens that's a goal or whatever, I just see hands up and like starts to like, gesture to people. And I just get so frustrated when I see that, when in reality it should be, or it could be more of a coaching moment, right? Makhanya is having an incredible season, more than anybody expected, me included. And I would argue you too, Todd, that type of moment should not be punished or acted upon that way, right? It could be a learning moment for someone like Makhanya, who I still stand on this, Todd. I think by the end of the season, Makhanya is going to get a call up to the South African national team. I really do think he's going to have an incredible opportunity to break into that team, not as a starter, maybe as a flyer to come and try a camp, that type of thing. The way that there's the Todd, what did you call the January camp for the U.S.?
Camp Cupcake.
There you go, a camp cupcake for South Africa. I think he could be a player that could do that. Never mind, Todd. You know who attended Camp Cupcake, who's been tearing it up or has been doing really well?
Quinn Sullivan.
Thank you. So it's an opportunity, and I think he's going to take it. So I guess that's where I got the most frustrated with Kai, and immediately went to him.
Yeah, that makes sense. John says that's a good comp, Jose. With you talking about Rondon compared to Owusu. John says he went to the game versus Pachuca last year, and they do seem similar. I was a little bit surprised when I looked at it that Owusu is 28 years old. I thought it was younger than what he was.
Like,
but
he looks younger.
Yeah, he's been around all over Germany, and Bradley Cornell had said after the game that Owusu came through the system at his former club, and I would imagine that is. I haven't looked at honestly teams that Cornell's played for. I know he played in the Bundesliga, but I would imagine he's talking about Stuttgart. I'm looking at it now. Yeah, Bradley did play for Stuttgart for quite a while in Germany in the Bundesliga. And so, yeah, Bradley gave his kudos to Owusu coming through that system there and then just doing his time all throughout Germany. And yeah, having a really good season, 10 goals on the year with Montreal. I think in my goals breakdown video that I'm working on, I have one more section I need to make before I finalize that and put it publicly. So I'll either finish that tonight, get it posted first thing tomorrow, or finish it early in the morning tomorrow and still have it posted for you guys tomorrow. So I got to decide what I'm going to do. But I said in the goals breakdown video that Owusu had 11 goals. It's 10 goals. They kept saying on the English broadcast that it was 11 goals. And so I never checked. I believed them. And yeah, I just looked. It's 10 goals. But look, that's why you always do your research. But yeah, I think Owusu, a really, really good player, was a handful for the Union last night. Cole says Makhanya said he felt like he let the team down there on the goal that was conceded. So yeah, it is good to see players take accountability and say, hey, look, that's on me. And hey, credit to Makhanya. Gives up the goal, but he comes right back and scores the game-winning goal. We'll talk about that here in a bit. One thing I want to talk about, now I'm going to show a clip, and this stream might get taken down, so if it does, it's on me. But Danley Jean Jacques, you and I noticed this at the same time, Jose, where he's responsible for the first goal that's happening. He collects the ball at the top of the circle. It's a good win off of Owusu by Jacob Glesnes. Ball into Quinn Sullivan. Sullivan passes back to Danley. Gives on an insane run. Dribbles past multiple guys. Gets the ball stolen off of his foot by Joel Wooderman. Credit to Quinn Sullivan there. Takes the ball off of Wooderman and passes it first time to Ty Baribo, who finishes first time. And I love that goal so much because Ty Baribo had a chance to go put pressure on the ball. He allows Quinn Sullivan to put pressure on that ball, stays in position, doesn't give up on the play, and then it's a great first-time finish by Baribo to get goal number 14. We've seen that so many times, first-time finishing with Baribo this season. But Danley Jean Jacques, that moment, I mean, this guy does unbelievable things with the football. And then even in the second half, and that's what I was going to show here. And if the stream gets taken down, this is on me. But I don't think you guys can hear us if I play this. So we'll come back in 10 seconds. But yeah, this moment in the 65th minute, insane by Danley. All right, so we're still live on YouTube. Watch it get taken down like 10 seconds later. But anyway, insane dribbling there for Danley just be patient. To be patient, let a guy go sliding, and then he tries to cut back pass. Danley had himself a game like he's had all season.
Yeah, honestly, I'm starting to think that the best comparison for Danley, and I would love to sit down with Bradley Carnell. Not sure he'd want to sit down with me, but I would love to sit down with Bradley Carnell and ask him, like, what is the closest player comparison that you would make with Danley? Or if you think about different players, to me, he's striking me more and more and more like a Yaya Toure. And I know that's like a crazy like ceiling type of comment, but like the way the guy closes down space, the way that he eats up space as he's dribbling, the way that he can just skip over people and use his body to just move around, like that goal. And I thought actually that was going to be the clip you were going to play. The way that he just sliced right through the middle. And I think Bradley even acknowledged it during the press conference at the end. Like it's not very much of what, it's not something you see very often in this league. Someone have that type of command to just slice right through the middle, unless it's like a breakaway. This is Danley just, listen, I will acknowledge it was Montreal, right? Like the worst team in the league, but they're still professionals and they're still very, very good players who are part of MLS. So some credit to that. But Danley was just, once again, I think that this was the second or third best game since his Red Bull game last year, which was like an eye-opening moment to me. It was just like,
Away too.
What's
right?
that?
It was the away game at Red Bull, right?
Yeah, the away game at Red Bull, where it was just like, oh, okay, this is what this guy brings. And last night was one of those games where it's like, oh, that's right. Okay, this guy, and I will beat this drum. If you're watching and you know who I'm talking about, I said it to you. I've said it many times. I don't think Danley stays at the Union very long. I know that's difficult to hear. I just can't imagine that there's a team in Europe that's not interested in bringing someone with the ability to close down, the speed, the just imposing, right? Like such a good player that honestly I think is out of place in MLS. Should not be in MLS. Too good.
Yeah, he's too good. And the whole reason why he was here is because his former club got relegated, FC Metz, and Union take advantage of a pretty good deal. Metz back in Ligue 1. You and I talk about FC Paris all the time. Like,
Dude, my Shane Gillis.
Why not? Why not go for a player that has experience in Ligue 1, that held his own? Probably could have got sold for a lot more money if Metz doesn't get relegated. But hey, look, if he only stays for the Union for a year, then so be it. But I think the year that he's been here with the Union, he really hasn't put a wrong foot forward. He's been really, really good. One other thing before we talk about set pieces for the Union. Congratulations to Nathan Harriel making his 100th appearance for the Union in MLS. The second homegrown to do that feat, Quinn Sullivan. So yeah, congrats to Nathan Harriel. And Jose, you and I are both clapping, but I think I actually have a soundbite for that.
How close was Jack McGlynn to that? He must have not been too far.
Yeah, he must not have. I'll have to look that up. I'm not sure. Had it been close.
He must have been in like his 80s or 90s, right? Like you think about how often Jack McGlynn was playing these last 2-3 years. I would gauge 85, 88, like probably would have happened this season as well. Because if you think about when they all started, right, that infamous or famous picture of Tommy Wilson with the three of them, right? What's that?
You won't believe this.
What is it?
99.
No shit. 99 games. The poor guy could not get the 100th. That is unreal. Oh, okay. Well, very close to it. Unbelievably close. Because he's the one who blossomed before the other two.
Yep. Agreed. That's why he's not here anymore. I mean, yeah, he doesn't fit the system, but I always thought that Jack would be the first one to leave out of those three just because of the talent. And I honestly didn't expect it to be to another MLS club, but yeah, hopefully Jack McGlynn doesn't hurt the Union this weekend as the Union go down to Houston. But I mentioned it, set pieces, Union very, very good. 1 set pieces this year. I know that maybe there's a little bit of controversy. Is it 14 goals? Is it 15 goals? Or I guess 16 goals now it would be. Who scored? I trust them. Says 14. And so we're going off of who scored stats. And that means that the Union have scored 36% of the goals this season, Jose, off of set pieces. 36%. That is insane. What was Bradley Cornell's quote? The 60, what was it? 60 goals from open play or something like that. 20 and 20?
60, 30, 10?
Yeah, 60, 30, 10. So he won it 30 goals from set pieces, and the Union are at 36%. That's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I gotta commend Philadelphia. Maybe should commend you first, Todd. You highlighting some of these backroom staff members and finding ways to elevate them. But the Frank Light video that the Union put out, as well as Marissa Gobb, incredible pieces of media for Union fans who want to know more about the inner workings to go on and watch on the YouTube channel. So please refer back to. I think I know I shared both of them. So please take a look at them or go on the Union's YouTube page. But just I asked this in the MLS writers Slack. Like I don't know how to go about this. This might be a project for you and I, or I should rely on some other people, or maybe ask MLS proper to do it. But like, I want to know, like, how often, like this has to be a record year for set piece goals. It just has to be when Philadelphia is doing what they've been doing for a while. And then you have a team like Minnesota who's trailing or ahead this season. It has to be a record year because I can't imagine that it isn't. And then also, how many teams have had more than 13 or 14, maybe 15 goals off of set pieces when it's all said and done in one season? This has to be a record year.
Yeah, it does seem like a lot. I'm trying to look at what the stats are right now. I know Minnesota, again, I use who scored. I believe they use data from Opta. But I know the Union are in second according to who scored. Minnesota's in first with 15. If the computer or if I'm fast enough, looking at this, and yeah, I mean it is an exercise to go and look at the end of the season. But right now you only have 3 teams this season that are in double digits: Minnesota 15, Philadelphia 14, San Jose 10, followed by Orlando with 9. Then you have a whole bunch of teams tied at 8. Houston Dynamo is one of those teams as well. Yeah, I mean, a ton of set piece goals. Dallas with the fewest amount this season, 2. Rapids are down there with 3, which is a little bit surprising with Mihailovic there, who I think is one of the better set piece takers in MLS. Maybe he's just a pen merch, but yeah, every single team this year has scored a set piece goal, but not as dominant as Minnesota United, Philadelphia, and San Jose this season. And last year, I believe the Union had 19 set piece goals. I'll look at it since I'm looking at
That's
who
insane.
scores right now. How many?
I know I was gonna say that's insane.
Yeah.
Like, those are crazy numbers, and like this is what happens when preparation meets opportunity, and it goes back to
Yeah,
Frank.
19.
Yeah, Frank and his staff. You think about Addison Hunsaker. I think that's how you say his last name, and uh, is it John Cooney?
Jay.
Jay Cooney. I'm so sorry, Jay Cooney. Like, these are staff members that I'm actually still shocked, much like some players that are still within the Union stuff, because of how good they've been and how great they've been over this 6 or 7 year run of Union soccer that has been pretty dominant in the Eastern Conference. Kudos to them, all of them, for doing what they do it so well.
Yeah, so you had mentioned the video that the Union posted with Frank Like, Coffee with the Coach, I believe they call that segment. It's about a 12-minute video. I'll leave a link to that in the show description. And I think there was something else I was going to leave a link to. Maybe the episode with Tim McDermott. I'll leave a link to both of that. If you guys don't watch these videos by Sage Hurley, really, really insightful videos. And I'm going to play a minute clip of Frank Like talking with Sage about collecting set pieces and his approach, or the person that he knows in Germany's approach to collecting set pieces, and how Frank decides, all right, these are the set pieces we're going to use. Let's go ahead and introduce these to the guys, see what works, what doesn't work. And this was mind blowing when I heard this. And again, I'll leave a link in the show description so you guys can watch the whole 12-minute video. But this is only a minute clip, and I find it very, very interesting.
It started way, way earlier. I had a crazy guy, a video analyst. He was full of passion to collect just set pieces from the whole world. And every time he asked, guys, if you know and if you see a set piece, please let me know. We put him all the time codes, and he collected it over years. And when I came over, it was really easy for me. I just called him in Germany. I said, oh, can you give me the collection? So I have really tons of variants, and then just to find it. Some teams, they are defending in the zone. Some teams, they are defending with man marking. Yeah, then you can split a little bit the variants. And then we know what we have in our team, our runners, our hard runners. And then for sure, we have one of the best set piece taker with Kai Wagner. I don't want to say just in the league. I think it's worldwide. I don't know one player who can deliver crosses so on the point.
All right, so a couple things there.
I love Germans.
Same. Right, Jose, that Frank had a guy that all he did is just, I'm going to create, I would imagine, like a Google Drive. I mean, we do something similar with all the goals, all key plays and everything. And I feel like we do some goofy stuff, track goofy stuff, and Kyle Almany as well. But literally, a guy in Germany saying, I want every single set piece from every single game, and I'll keep it in a drive. And then Frank says, hey, look, I'm at a big club now that wants me to focus on set pieces. Can you go ahead and send me all those set pieces, and I'll introduce it to my team? That is insane. I mean, it's got to be thousands and thousands of clips, right, Jose?
Share the link, right? Like, can you give me permission, or can you give me access to the drive? Like, I selfishly want to look at what the hell this drive looks like, right? Like, how is it structured? Like, how are you breaking down?
Quality of the videos look like?
Yeah, like, you're right. And, ultimately, I think a lot of that is just collaboration, right? To be asking players like, hey, did you watch soccer this weekend? Okay, like, are there any set pieces that you saw that, caught your eye, that type of thing? It's so cool. And then I think it just talks to the passion of this guy who, again, like, we've talked about it, Todd, in passing or offline and on the record. But Frank is another one of those coaches that I'm still surprised doesn't have a different opportunity somewhere else. May it be a national team, may it be an MLS team with a higher responsibility. Obviously, the next step would probably be for him to consider a head coach opportunity at somewhere else. But he is just another one of those treasures of, like, much like Phil Wedden. How are you still at the Union? You're unbelievable at what you do. I'm surprised you haven't been poached. And I think it's just their commitment and love and service to the area and the team. So good for them.
Yeah, I'll never forget this. But at the firing of Jim Curtin at the press conference, asking Ernst Tanner, is the coaching staff coming back? Like anybody from the coaching staff? And like he didn't want to answer that. And yeah, long and behold, both Frank and Phil are back. And what I had heard was that those guys were leading practices when Jim Curtin was no longer there, because with the CBA, even though the Union won in the playoffs, that they still had to practice. Marlon LeBlanc, I know, had helped out a little bit too. But to your point, like these guys are at the top of their crafts, and to see them still in Philadelphia with Jim Curtin no longer at the helm, I think it talks about just how valuable they are to the team. Ernst Tanner realizes that. Bradley Cornell sure as hell realizes that now, just how good these guys are at the craft. And yes, Bradley brings in a Mitch Hildebrand and a Sean Rooney, guys that he's had previous relationships with. And to see all of them gel, just like nothing's been lost, like they've been working with each other for years, is a testament to, I think, their characteristics for giving this a go, because it could have been easy for a Phil Whetten or a Frank like to say, Jim Curtin's not here anymore. I'm going to go ahead and look elsewhere, because they had such high respect. I remember having Frank on the podcast, having Phil Whetten on the podcast multiple times, talking to them at the stadium. Like they never said a bad thing about Jim Curtin. It was all this praise for Jim Curtin, and Jim Curtin was the same way for his assistant coaches, whether that be those two guys, Ryan Richter or Pat Noonan too. Like there was something really, really special in Philadelphia, and to see those guys still here, I think they're a big part of why the Union are having the successful season that they're having. Union tied for the most clean sheets in the league with 9. Could have been 10 last night. Well, maybe not, because of the way we talked about how Owusu played last night. Frank Like pushing the Union again. I mean, it's got to be over 100 set pieces. I forget, you and I did this exercise. I don't think we did it on the show, but we did it just for fun, looking at who scored. And I think they stopped tracking the data back in like 2020 or 2019. And Frank Like has definitely had over 100 set pieces or close to it since he's been appointed 5 years ago now. I think he came in 2020 or 2021. I can't remember now. The years fly together. But yeah, I mean, the Union are a completely different team now on set pieces, and Frank's a big reason why.
Yeah, and that's just it, right? He's such a difference maker on I think maybe an area of the game that needs to be maybe explored better or maybe paid more attention to, because those are situations where it's as close as you're going to get to a chess match. And if you win the chess match and you prepare correctly, you can be that single moment can be the difference between 3 points and no points, or maybe 1 point, I should say too. So kudos to them. I don't know what else we can say about Frank. We're waxing poetic at this point. Just fantastic work. And I don't know, what do you think they finish with at the end of the year in terms of set piece goals?
Ooh, let's go ahead and do this exercise. So last year I told you guys 19 set pieces scored. Do they go over or under that? We're set it to 19. I'll say right now they're at 14. I'll say they go over. I'll say they're finishing the year with 22.
You also got to remember they're not playing Leagues Cup.
They're not. So it's a big factor, yeah.
Fewer matches is what I'm getting at. But they're also
11 left or 12? 11 or 12 games left.
Plus whatever U.S. Open Cup they're in. I think they match it. I don't think they pass it.
They don't pass 19? All right. So,
I hope I'm wrong, because it's fun to watch.
For sure. All right. So you guys listening live, or people that are listening on the RSS feed, let us know. Did the Union go over or under 19 set piece goals this season? But yeah, that's pretty much everything I want to say. Real quick, Pat Bernard said, "What's up, boys? What's up, Pat?" He says, "Bradley Cornell, Coach of the Year, book it now." I would say, just because I know how this league works, it's going to be Javier Mascherano.
Well, Pat also predicted the firing of Jim Curtin, so maybe there's something to Pat.
And Andrew Rick, and Andrew Rick saying that he's going to be the guy.
Pat Bernard sounds a lot like Pat Cornell, as I know it.
Yeah, it actually might be Coach Cornell using a burner for Pat. But let's go ahead and talk about that set piece goal scored by the Union. Olwethu Makhanya having a breakout season, Jose, and
Vancouver's coach is a good shout.
Oh yeah,
first year in the league, doing what he's done, like that's a pretty good shout. Though Mikey Veras, San Diego.
Oh, that's another one. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Carnell's having a great season with Union. Yeah, Might be Mikey. It might be Mikey. I'm going to say Mascherano just because I know how biased it is.
Sure.
And especially if Miami keeps going on a run, but dang. Yeah, it might be Mikey. It honestly might be Mikey.
It probably should be Mikey. I mean, think about what he's gotten out of Dreyer and all these other like players, first year in the league and doing what they're doing. And of course, like Bradley Cornell, technically the architect of that archetype with, first team in the league doing unbelievably well. Whoa.
Beachy's a good shout too.
Yeah,
Callahan.
Yeah. Ursine is Bear. Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder which way they go, but I'm there's so many shouts for the accolade, and frankly, I wouldn't be upset if any of them won it.
That's fair.
Won't be Peter Vermees.
Definitely will not be. It absolutely will not be. But Makhanya scores on the set piece last night. We heard Frank talk about, in his opinion, not only is Kai Wagner the best delivery off of set pieces in MLS, but he says worldwide that he's one of the best deliveries. And right after this clip that I played for you guys, Frank goes into why he believes Kai's one of the best set piece takers in the whole world. So again, listen to that episode with Sage and Frank after you guys get done listening to the free kick. But Makhanya becomes the 16th different goal scorer this season. He's featured in 20 matches, started 15 of those. He's played over 1,400 minutes. Coming into this game against Montreal, he was ranked third on the Union in tackles won, 22, fourth in block shots, 20, fifth in interceptions, 25, and second in clearances, which was 101. And Makhanya wasn't given a chance last year on Jim Curtin, brought in the summer of 2023, wasn't given a chance, sent down to Union 2. Union desperately needed center back help last year. Makhanya still can't break into the team. You start playing Nathan Harriel as your emergency center back. And it's like, what's Makhanya have to do? You go out, you sign a U22 player, your first ever in Makhanya, and he can't even break into the first team. And yes, I talked about this last episode. Same thing can be said about Todd Baribo. We saw what happened once Carranza was sold. Breakout season in League's Cup, Golden Boot winner. But maybe the Union make the playoffs last season, Jose, if Makhanya is starting instead of Nathan Harriel, who I think played well at times as a center back, but he's a better right back than center back, in my opinion. And I do think maybe that's part of the reason why Nathan Harriel got selected to go to the Olympics last year, is just because of his versatility. And now this season, under Bradley Cornell, we're seeing him play as an attacking midfielder. Insane. And it's happened more than once now this season, like 3 or 4 times I've counted. But regardless, Makhanya is having a hell of a season, Jose. And I feel like maybe he's a little bit hard done that it was Jacob Glesnes and not him getting selected to go to the All-Star game.
Yeah, and I guess I almost wish it would have been Makhanya over Glesnes when you think about minutes and youth, and Glesnes is not getting any younger, never mind the injuries that he has had to recover from. But I'm a number one Makhanya sympathizer now, right? I was so unbelievably critical about him. I think almost honestly, I think it was justified. A man making that much money playing MLS Next Pro, like obviously it wasn't even his own doing. So for him to come in and show what he's shown, and me being on the other end of this whole thing and saying, this guy might get called up for the South African national team as 180 as it gets when it comes to like his development. And not everybody's just linear. We know that. That's a patented sentence of the free kick pod at this point. But like, I can't believe that he's playing as well as he is. And of course, it's all about opportunity. When Jan Glavinovic goes down, there's the opportunity for Makhanya. When Harriel comes into preseason injured, that's where Frankie Westfield comes in. So it was all for the taking. And I'm happy that Makhanya has sort of just grabbed it and ran with it, and just how good internally it has been. Now it'll be interesting when, who knows, Jan Glavinovic comes back, what that looks like in terms of competition, but it's only going to make all these guys better. So congrats to Olwethu, got that accolade today. The team of the match. Yeah, back-to-back team. Was he on the bench last week?
Yeah, bench and then starting this week.
Okay, I don't pay too much attention to the bench call-ups, but I get it. So shout out to him for being a starter in the team of the match day this week. Awesome. And I think someone had mentioned just a minute ago, John Corkery. I hope I'm saying that last name right. His closing speed and athleticism is unbelievable. It has to be it has to be up there in terms of some of the best ability to close down space and as a defender and sort of make up for ground lost. I don't think he is a player that really needs to even give 1 or 2 yards to make sure that speedy players don't get past him. He's just that athletic. It's so great to see.
I'm probably being so disrespectful here, Jose, but I'm looking at the latest South Africa call-up as of June 10th, 2025, and majority of the players here are playing in the South African Premiership.
How many Bosch players are on there?
A lot.
Okay. Makhanya used to be a Bosch player.
Yeah.
So I don't know, folks out in South Africa. I'll campaign for the guy. I'll wear a Makhanya for national team T-shirt if I have to. Like that dude needs to be out there for one of these camps coming up. The Camp Cupcake of South African soccer. Please call him up.
Yeah, it's 3, which is the second most. Orlando Pirates were the most call-ups. But I don't know. I mean, like,
Legendary
team. Yeah, they were. But I would imagine you leave South Africa, come to MLS. That's a step up in your career. Yeah, I would imagine Makhanya is getting paid more in America than he was in South Africa. But I also think that's more of a step up in his career. So I don't know. Maybe he actually does get called up to a meaningful games. Maybe World Cup qualifying games. Who knows? Which is an insane call, but it might be possible. And so you had mentioned it, Jose, about Makhanya taking advantage of injuries and what have you in preseason. That's exactly what Bradley Cornell had said last night while asked about the rise of Olwethu Makhanya.
It's incredible, right? Again, if he continues this pathway and this trajectory at his age, I think he can achieve a lot. But it's our job to keep him grounded, to keep him hungry and energized and excited about what he's actually doing right now. Because, like I said, everyone's contributing, and from a season that in the beginning we get the injury to Jan Glivinovic, and then we bring in Olwethu, and then all of a sudden he's thriving, and then Frankie's thriving, and then we have competition at right back, center back, and somebody else is now taking up the reins and now dominating and making it his own. So, really like to see this pathway of our players coming through. It just shows a lot of hunger, determination, good vision from Ernst and the club, to sign Olwethu 1.5 years ago, whatever it was. So credit to Ernst as well.
Ernst knows ball.
Some would say that, yeah. I'll say that. Like he knows how to find his talent. But I'll also say that he's missed. I mean, I think the most meaningful miss that the man has had is Riasco. But the thing is that when he bets small. But when he hits and he bets small, it's magnitudes bigger, right? Kai, Jose Martinez. I would argue Jesus Bueno as well for the role that he's taken. Baribo, Shabilko, Glesnes was one of his too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So like these are massive hits. Multiple all-stars that I just named, whether it was one time or multiple times. Team of the year, team of the defender of the year, just great stuff. So kudos to him and the scouting staff, past and present, and maybe in the future. It seems like the through line is that they know what they're doing, and maybe more people should trust them.
I will go to the next topic, but I do have a question for you. You talk about misses. Would you consider Sexy Season a miss?
Sexy Season a miss?
Yeah.
Is it?
I mean, never played for the first team.
Can you consider him a miss? Since I thought you were talking about Hoagie. It's like
what? It's for people who are unfamiliar with the player.
I thought you were talking about domesticated Hoagie for a second. I was like, what are you talking about? A miss? No, Sexy Season. That is tough. I don't think so, but like, I hope that there's a tell all on some of these things, but like the story behind that, how it all went sideways. Like how did the guy never feature and then just never like disappears, genuinely disappears.
With the Union for 2 years, moved in 2020, loaned down in 2021, and they get rid of him in the summer of 2022 without playing a single appearance. I believe the Union paid over $600,000 for him and never plays a single game for the first team. Insane.
Where is he at now?
I was looking at it. He is back with his old club.
Okay.
In Slovakia.
Go ahead, pronounce it for me, Todd.
No, I'm not even gonna try this. Too many fancy letters in this. Absolutely not. We're just gonna call it. No, we're not even gonna try it. We're good.
Too many consonants, not enough vowels in it.
Yeah, we're not even gonna try. But as we get ready to wrap up the podcast, and I'm glad you brought this up, Jose, because I think this is a topic we should talk about because we've been singing the praises all season long about Andrew Rick, and he's had a phenomenal season for the Union. But when the Union needed him most last night, he steps up, and that is Andre Blake. Michael mentioned him at the beginning of the show. I highlighted this because I wanted to bring it up. Also, Blake, man, kept us in it. And that's an understatement, honestly. 3 saves. He had back-to-back saves, it felt like, in the second half towards the end of the game, off of a header off of a fantastic ball played in by Brendan Craig. In the 81st minute, Blake makes a save on, I forget the player's name. I'm not looking at it. But Blake makes a save. And then who else but Owusu with a chance in the 84th minute. And Andre Blake comes up with the biggest save. And Owasu's on the ground. How he's able to still kick the ball. And I saw people trying to clown you on social media, Jose, saying, oh, that's an easy save in it. Are you serious? Like, you're not saving that. I mean, that's a powerful strike. It's an acrobatic strike. Blake's going to his right, and he has to quickly switch to his left because the ball is going left. Those people that are clowning Andre Blake saying that's an easy save, they're not making that save online. But again, that's why these people hide behind faceless accounts and think they know better. But Andre Blake, again, proving that he's still an elite MLS goalkeeper, Jose.
He's still, I mean, there's a reason why he's he was at one point, or maybe obviously is, considering how well he played this match, a 3-time MLS goalkeeper of the year, right? Like, and Bradley Cornell has said it, and as disappointing as it may sound too, it's like, okay, maybe I do get it and should be more open to it, despite how well Andrew played for that little stretch. And some would say, well, he let in a lot of goals. It's like, okay, well, if you actually watch the tape, a lot of them weren't really anything to do with him. It was just that he was put in situations versus having to deal with situations he had to, work through. That Andre remains, if he's available, he is maybe the player to start, right? And maybe that's just how it goes from here on out. And shame on all those people with the faceless accounts on Twitter saying that it was just a routine save, or someone said to me, like, shame on you, this is an easy save. What are you talking about? It's like, send me your tape. Let me see you do it. Like, send me the video clip, like, where can I find you? We're on YouTube. Like, even in the MLS writing Slack channel, I shared the GIF or GIF, if you're a sicko, that I made with them, and they're all kind of like, oh wow, like that's a pretty sick save. I'm hoping more enthusiastic than that, but they all watch and they're like, okay, that's a contender for save of the week. So it was. I don't even know how he got his body reacting so quickly. And I think, again, that goes to all the work that Phil Wedden has done with him and over the years, and honestly, the player that he is. So great job, Andre. What a keeper. Yeah,
phenomenal goalkeeper, and
when healthy.
Yeah, when healthy, exactly. And it does seem like Andre Blake is finally healthy, which is a big part of it. And didn't have the greatest tournament with Jamaica. Jamaica as a whole didn't have a great tournament during the Gold Cup. And to see Andre Blake have a performance that we've seen him have throughout his career here in Philadelphia, like he did last night against Montreal. Yeah, I mean, it's a big showing by Andre Blake. And again, that's why I said, he still shows that he's an elite MLS goalkeeper. And Bradley Cornell talked about this a couple press conferences ago and said, that pressure by Andrew Rick, knowing that he's right there pushing Andre Blake it's only going to make Blake better, and it's going to motivate him. And I think that's why we're seeing the Philadelphia Union continue to be in first place in the Supporters Shield, continue to have players and teams pushing them, because they know that their job, their spot isn't guaranteed unless you're Indiana Vasilov. But yeah, it's like when you have the next core group of players pushing you, you shouldn't feel safe. And so, yeah, it's great to see Andre Blake play well last night. And yeah, Dre just doing Andre things. But I pretty much have nothing else to say, Jose, for the show. Anything else you want to go ahead and add?
I think the only thing I'll share is that I hope I'm saying this name right. AZ Jackson of the Columbus Crew, out of nowhere, at least to me, I had not heard or read any rumors, is joining Leon Flock in Poland with Jagiellonia Białystok. So another MLSer going out there and playing with Leon. So I wonder if Leon had a part in recruitment in some way, shape, or form of saying, like, listen, like, Poland ain't so bad, like, this is not a bad team. So Columbus Crew losing another player. And if you haven't, please, when I say that there are some games that are a game of the season contenders and just overall exciting that may not involve the Union, watch that Red Bull game from this weekend, the Red Bull New England game over the weekend, where New England went up 2-0 only to lose 5-3. Or was it 5-2? I forget the final score, but it was a hell of a game. So make sure if you haven't, just put that on the background at some point on Apple MLS, on Apple TV, whatever the title is. But yeah, that's all I'll share. More to come, and no MLS duty for me. So I get to actually watch and enjoy the game, not have to watch and take notes throughout the different assignments.
So Cole says he's currently watching that Red Bull game. Look at that.
You just got spoiled, brother.
5-3, insane game. I guess I got to go ahead and watch this game too. I have a question for Domesticated Hoagie. She's in the comment section. Jose was talking about Poland being the place to be. Can you confirm or deny that, Domesticated Hoagie? As she is Polish. I don't know if you knew that, Jose, but she said a few shows ago that she's Polish. She said that's the motherland, the homeland. So I want to know if she can confirm or deny Poland is the place to be. And I also, Jose, want to go ahead and say the club that Sexy Season is currently at is Podbrezova. That's what I'm going to go with. That's going to, I was listening to you talk the whole time. I'm like, let me go ahead and try to give this a go. Probably still saying it wrong, but it looks like it's pronounced Podbrezova. Prdbrezova. Fancy A at the end. That's what I'm going with. So you asked, I gave it a shout. Probably wrong, but hey, look. It's the attempt that matters. But I have it there on the screen. People that are listening to audio only. Jose, where can people follow you on social media?
At Jose R. Nuñez 91. You just gave me an idea. I'm gonna send Podbrezova an email. See if Sexy Season is available for a 5-10 minute conversation.
Podbrezova. That'd be awesome. I mean, he speaks English.
Sexy Season does speak some English.
Domesticated Hoagie says, yeah, motherland. Number one, very nice. So she confirms that Poland's the place to be. So
yo, shout out to Domesticated Hoagie / Sexy Hoagie, whatever phase she's in at the moment. But I think she posted on social media at some point a picture of her grandmother. Her grandmother was a sniper in some army. Badass. I hope I'm thinking of the right person. Domesticated Hoagie. Am I going nuts here? Wasn't your grandmother a sniper? All right, now she's cursing at us. We don't realize it. Now she's calling us assholes or something like that.
I'm gonna get canceled because I just posted something. I have no clue.
Yeah, you just said the N-word in Polish, Todd.
Why would you do that to me, Domesticated Hoagie? I was gonna say the only thing that I see Hoagie post on social media is Labaloo. I think they're called.
No, is that really how you say it? I thought it was Laboobos or Laboo.
Yeah, it's not Labaloo, whatever the hell I said. Laboo? I don't know. But I sent her this. Somebody made an Oriole one.
Yo, that's sick.
Yeah, it is pretty sick. But yeah, the show definitely going off the rails now, an hour and 10. But if you guys aren't following the podcast on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, follow at Free Kick Pod, where we get your podcast of The Free Kick. Check out the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Free Kick Pod. Wherever you get your podcasts, I said that. Check out the writing, the podcast and goals breakdown video all in one place, thefreekick.substack.com. 10:25 p.m. here on Thursday night. And I have such a busy day ahead tomorrow. And then Saturday, waking up early, going fishing, and then hopefully coming home napping. So I'm energized for the game against Houston on Saturday, and then be back doing the podcast on Sunday, recapping hopefully a good positive result for the Union down in Houston. First time that the Union are going down in Houston since 2018. So yeah, hopefully the Union go down and get a result. Hopefully, like I said earlier in the show, hopefully Jack McGlynn doesn't score against the Union. I do wonder if Jack McGlynn scores, does he celebrate? Daniel Gaza, when MLS asked, he said he would celebrate against the Union. Didn't seem like it was the greatest ending for Jack McGlynn in the Union. Yeah, he had those quotes. I forget who we did the interview with, but said that he was basically told that he was getting traded last minute. So I don't know. Will Jack McGlynn celebrate if he scores? We shall see. But you guys, the comment section, the best part of the show, as always. I appreciate every single person that came in tonight with comments tonight. You guys make the show what it is. You guys, again, best part of the show. Thank you so much for your comments. Trying to get to 500 subscribers on YouTube by the end of the season. We're at 358 now. We're getting closer and closer. I still do think we'll get to 500 before the end of the year. But it's going to be because of you guys, your help. You guys only. So with that said, my name is Todd, and this is the Free Kick Podcast.